Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Star Cement Limited conference call. Please stay connected. The call will begin shortly. Participants, you have been connected to Star Cement Limited conference call. Please stay connected. The call will begin shortly. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Star Cement Limited Q2 FY22 earnings conference call hosted by HDFC Securities Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rajesh Kumar Ravi from HDFC Securities. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Nirav. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of HDFC Securities, we welcome you all in the Q2 FY22 conference call of Star Cement. From the management side, we are hosting Mr. Sanjay Gupta, CEO, and Mr. Manoj Agrawal, CFO. We now hand over the call to the management for their opening remarks, which will be followed by the Q&A session. Over to you, Sanjay sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sanjay Gupta, CEO of Star Cement. I would like to welcome you all to this earnings call of Q2 FY22. I have with me Mr. Manoj Agrawal, CFO of the company. He will take you through the Q2 numbers and the half-yearly numbers. After that, we will open the floor for an interactive session where you will be able to ask questions and we will be happy to reply. I will request Mr. Manoj Agrawal to brief you on Q2 numbers and the earnings. Over to Manoj.
Hello. Hi friends. Very good afternoon. I, on behalf of Star Cement, welcome you all on the con call for discussing our Q2 FY22 numbers. I would like to clarify that we are discussing on the historical numbers and there is no invitation to invest. Having said that now, I will just take you through the Q2 number followed by half year number. Starting from clinker production, during the quarter ended September 2021, we have produced 5.49 lakh ton of clinker as against 3.61 lakh ton same quarter last year. So far as cement production is concerned, we have produced 6 lakh ton this quarter as against 5.76 lakh ton same quarter last year. This quarter we have also taken shutdown in our integrated cement plant at Lumshnong, Meghalaya. Now I will take you through sales volume. During the quarter we have sold 6.17 lakh ton of cement and negligible quantity of clinker as against 6.34 lakh ton of cement and 0.18 lakh metric ton of clinker same quarter last year. This is as far as cement and clinker sale is concerned. As far as geographical distribution of cement is concerned, in Northeast we have sold around 4.93 lakh ton as against 4.84 lakh ton during same quarter last year. And as far as outside Northeast is concerned, we have sold 1.25 lakh ton of cement this quarter as against 1.68 lakh ton same quarter last year. In terms of blend mix, it is almost 9% OPC and rest is PPC. These are the quantitative numbers of the quarter. Now I will take you through to the financials. The total revenue figure this quarter is around 406 crore as against 402 crore same period last year. As far as EBITDA figure is concerned, this quarter we have done an EBITDA of around rupees 80.38 crore as against 85.51 crore last year. Profit after tax is rupees 46.53 crore as against 60.27 crore in the same period last year. This is mainly on account of increased depreciation on account of our Siliguri grinding unit. On the per ton EBITDA front, it is 1302 during this quarter as against 1313 per ton same quarter last year. This is what our quarterly numbers of second quarter. Now the total revenue figure for the half year ended September 2021, it is around 917 crore as against 694 crore same period last year. As far as EBITDA is concerned, during half year ended September 21, we have done an EBITDA of around 182 crore as against 157 crore last year. PAT is rupees 116 crore as against 104 crore in the same period last year. On per ton EBITDA front, it is 1317 during half year ended September 21 as against 1424 per ton same period last year. These are the quarterly and half yearly numbers. Now I request all of you that if you have any query, you can ask the same, and I will request Rajesh to moderate the query wherever it requires. Thank you. Over to Rajesh.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Moderator, you can now open the floor for Q&A.
Thank you very much. We'll now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, you may press star and one to ask a question. The first question is from the line of Mangesh from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So my question is, so we have set up our new unit at Siliguri 2 million ton in January of this year, and we did face some problems for volumes in the earlier quarters because of some logistic or COVID related issues. But still our volumes are extremely low. What is the reason for that? What has been the reason that we are not able to push the volumes in the eastern market? In fact, even on a year-on-year basis, the volumes are low despite the addition of new capacity, which means that the earlier volumes that we were selling through the leased units, we have not been able to duplicate that. So when do you expect this to change? And when do we start looking at least some good volume growth, given the fact that your utilization is very close to almost 40 to 43%?
No, definitely. I think you are right when you say that we started this unit in the month of January, right? So 3-4 months was initial months were because of the teething issues, we could not ramp up the volume. And as you understand that this is a 2 million ton plant, it needs a large territory in terms of selling the product. So continuing with the building the network, having the dealer network in place and all that. And in April, May, COVID has actually impacted in terms of market visits and physical visits to the market and all that has really got impacted. So we have taken up this exercise of building the network very aggressively from June onward. And we have added a significantly, almost from June onward, we have almost added more than 200 dealers in our network. So hopefully in the coming 6 months' time, we hope that the overall utilization of this unit will be able to ramp up to around 65 to 70% by the end of this year.
Also, any volume guidance you want to give for this year based on what you have done in the first half?
I think I have already said that we are looking at it a 20% kind of a volume growth in FY22 over FY21.
Okay, and sir, so by the end of this year, you mentioned that almost 55 to 70% utilization can be achieved for Siliguri, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, can you just highlight also, the demand trends in Northeast and the Eastern region based on what is happening now?
No, in the month, but till September, the demand was really weak because of the large-scale rainfall which was taking place in Eastern India, right? That has also largely impacted a lot of coal mining also, and there is one of the regions of coal scarcity in India because most of the coal mines are actually based out, located out of Eastern India. So, but that trends have subsided actually in month of October. October we have seen a healthy demand trend. And I think post-Pujas and all, the demand has picked up. We hope that the same thing will continue in the month of November and coming months. And we expect that ultimately the entire Northeast will grow at around 8% on a full year basis. And the rest of East should actually grow at around 4-5% on a full year basis.
Okay. I do have some questions. I'll come back in the queue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Vaibhav Agarwal from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and thank you. Sir, just I had a question that recently from many of our dealers, etc., which we are doing, we are hearing that the players from the mainland are coming in a big way to Northeast, and because of which they are selling their products at quite a discounted price versus the existing price in Northeast. So the discounting in Northeast is basically going up substantially because of that, is what we get a ground feedback. So is it true, sir? And can you offer any comment on this particular aspect about this entry of players from the outside Northeast?
Yeah, Baba, see, largely what this is has always been the trend during the monsoon season, during the off season. Actually, the price takes a beating in the rest of India, and the prices are more or less stable to I will say they're only with a small negative bias in Northeast. So there is during the rainy season the price gap actually increases, right? That makes for the players who are there in Eastern India, it is actually becomes very lucrative for them to sell in Northeast. So that is the trend which I've always been seeing it. Yes, there is some amount of additional volume pushed by. We have seen that Ultratech has pushed some amount of volumes. But those are largely, if you have seen it in last year also they have done, but I think those matters are largely related to one-off items. Like in last year, Meghalaya and most of the cement plant in Meghalaya has actually suffered on account of two bridges which were there in Meghalaya have got damaged. There was a load restriction on those bridges. Hence, the grinding units which are set up in Guwahati and these places could not get the required clinker from their mother plants. And that is how the supply was restricted, and that gap was filled by imports, or I'll say material from the mainland India, right? So that was the reason for last year. But this year, I think they are more or less the similar line with what they had in last year, hopefully. And I think the prices have also started moving up. As the gap reduces, the overall impact also reduces. I can only say these are largely a consignment sale kind of businesses. There is no active dealer network which is being created by any of the large players in all.
Okay. No, actually, sir, the feedback was that players, some of the players which you mentioned and some other players are now setting up their own permanent network in Northeast with their own CNFs and depots, etc. So that's the reason I was asking you this. That do you see this as a permanent threat for the region? So that is the concern. Because this time the commentary was a little aggressive on that, from the ground about the entry of these players versus what has happened in the past. So that is the reason I was asking you this.
No, I don't deny that there will be renewed interest on Northeast because of the kind of prices which are maintained there. But you can always understand that the nearest plant any of these players have closer to they are in Pagadigi and or in Murshidabad, right, and in Farakka. So still there is a lot of freight component which is going to get impacted, and if somebody starts making the dealer network, definitely he will be a player to watch for.
Right, sir. And sir, also any of these players, do you think that they are looking at setting up their own capacities? And we are also hearing of some transactions of M&A which can happen in all. Any comments on those fronts if you can offer? Helpful.
Honestly, I don't have any information as such of any potential transaction under going at the background, but if those kind of situations do appear, we will have a look at that point of time.
Right. And sir, lastly, I also wanted to ask you that we also had plans in the longer term to become a East India player as well. So any development on that front or any further roadmap which you can share, it will be helpful.
So Rajesh, at this point of time, we are looking at setting up a 3 million ton. So we need clinker to expand any further because Siliguri also needs extra amount of clinker. So we are putting up this clinker plant. We will also be having another grinding plant in Guwahati. East India plant will definitely actively start taking shape as soon as we get hold of some clinkerization facility either in Chhattisgarh or in MP.
So there is no progress on Chhattisgarh clinkerization even as of now, or is it the same situation? Or
as of now, there is no progress.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Uttam Kumar Srimal from Axis Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. So, sir, my question is related to the capex plan of the company during this year and the next year. So, what kind of capex we are looking for this year and next year? And sir, what is the current status of clinkerization plan that you just spoke about?
See, the capex expenditure for this year we had planned around 300 crores, and that was largely driven by WHR plant of 12 megawatts which we are setting up in Meghalaya. That plant is on track, I'll say, of implementation. We hope to commence that operation in the month of July FY23, and so FY22, sorry. So we will definitely, so that capex is continuing, and we have already spent out of, till September we have spent around 125 crores, largely on WHR and some amount we have spent on the clinkerization plant, right? So and we are on track to spend this 300 crores on capex, and this clinkerization plant is a 3 million ton capacity which we are setting up in Meghalaya. The overall capex cost for this particular plant is going to be around 1100 crores to 1200 crores there. And that is the amount we're going to spend in next 3 years.
Okay, that will be on clinkerization itself.
That is going to be in clinkerization itself.
Okay. And sir, regarding price hike, sir, have you taken any price hike during the month of October in your East and Northeast region?
There is a small price hike of 5-7 rupees in Northeast, and there is a small hike around 10 rupees in Eastern in India. That's the hike but was there in the month of October. But we do hope that going forward in months to come, as the demand picks up, there will be a pressure on the price, largely on account of the full price increases and the full price increase which has happened in past years. So definitely there will be a pass-through which will happen.
Okay. And sir, what has been our trade and non-trade mix this quarter?
The trade and non-trade mix still remains, I think we were operating at around 80-20 kind of a situation. At this quarter, we will be having some. I'll ask Manoj to give you the number.
Yeah, it is 88-12, same thing.
So around 88% and 12% for non-trade.
Okay. And sir, what has been our lead distance during this quarter?
It will be around 300 kilometers.
Okay, it has reduced. Last time it was around 325 kilometers.
Yeah, it will come down because, as you understand that now there's another plant of Siliguri which has come up, right? So it will definitely have an impact on the reduction is lead distance, right?
Okay, and sir, lastly one on power and fuel. So how is the current cost of inventory with you right now?
See, as of now, we had a good amount of inventory with us, so we were managing till now. We have almost around 200,000 tons of coal, which we have already purchased at auction from India. That material is going to come to us. Hopefully, the Coal India will start loading rakes from maybe post Diwali. That's the feedback we have. And most of our coal sourcing has always been the coal auctions which we have been taking. We have also participated in certain fuel supply agreements which has happened in Tranche 4 and Tranche 5 thing. We have taken now 125,000 tons per year kind of a participation there, and that has been allotted to us for next 5 years. So we are hoping that Coal India actually resumes the coal supplies to cement plants.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, thank you, sir. That's all from my side.
Thanks.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Shah from Investec India. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll just continue with the question. Sir, can you broadly indicate what is our fuel mix right now? Basically, local coal, if you can segregate it between local, Coal India, imported, petcoke, so for broad understanding.
So I think as of now there is no local coal which is being used. It is largely the imported, the Coal India coal. I'll say it is to the extent of 95% will be Coal India, and only some small quantity of imported coal. We are not using any petcoke there.
Right. And sir, you indicated 125,000 tons per annum. Sir, how does the pricing work over here? Like, is it fixed price for the full year, or how should one understand it versus the normal procurement that we do on auction basis? If you can give some number in rupees per kcal basis, I think that would be very useful, sir. The prior quarter, and basically how should one understand this 200,000, the coal that we have purchased so far, and 125 KT, what you indicated, sir?
But only problem, see, at this point of time, I don't have that number of per kilocalorie cost, but I'm saying that, yes, definitely these are long-term fuel supply FSAs, right? So the cost is actually competitive than what was there at the auction which is available. And this has been recently been done, so there is no past FSAs which we had. We have just participated in the FSAs and we have been allotted this quantity. And yes, as far as the FSA pricing is concerned, mostly the prices are stable until and unless Coal India actually revises its base price, right? And for FSAs actually being a longer term, it has rarely been seen that only on the very rare occasion the Coal India has actually revised the base prices. And that is there. Auction coal cost depends on whenever these auctions are available, whenever those auctions are done, and what is the prevailing price at that point of time. definitely Coal India do benchmark their prices with the international coal availability and the price.
Sir, would it be possible for you to help us understand what is the calorific value and the coal cost? Because I think this is an inherent advantage that the company has, and our cost will be actually lower than the competition, which is a good thing. So just trying to understand the numbers over here, sir.
No, see, the calorific value is somewhere around 5,000 to 5,500, depending on which grade of coal you are actually bidding for, which of grade you are taking in the auction. As far as the FSAs are concerned, the calorific value is somewhere around 5,000 to 4,500, which have been offered on the tranches. Actually, we don't decide on what calorific values. It is actually based on Coal India's gradation of coal, which goes by either you go into a higher grades are somewhere around G4, G5, G6, and lower grades will be somewhere around G10, G11, G12. So it all depends on which grade is under offer, and then and you have to bid for it depending on what cost, landed cost you are going to incur on it.
Sir, if I have to put it the other way around, how should one understand the power and fuel cost on a per ton basis from Q2 to Q3 and into Q4? Most of the companies, they have indicated a stiff cost increase. So, sir, can you put some number over here?
See, at this point of time, it is very difficult to give you a number, but I can only share with you this, that the coal prices have actually been more than doubled, right? So you can understand that from the whatever fuel, power and fuel cost of companies are reporting. Yes, because each company will have its own different take, because we have also been we have also started and looking at the various auctions taking place even in Central Coalfield and Southeastern Coalfield, Northern Coalfield, right? So just to understand and keep ourselves deleveraged from the Eastern Coalfield. Right. So all these costs are really variable and will also depend on how the international coal prices actually behave. So putting a number to it, yes, there is a cost increase. I think we have been, every cement player has been talking about at least an increase of 10% kind of, by 8 to 10% or 10 to 12%, depending on who is looking at the price increase, and just to pass through the coal and the diesel price hikes which have happened.
Sure. So just to put this question the other way around, you indicated that the price increases so far, I think in Northeast you indicated 5 to 7 rupees in the month of October. Is that correct? And for East it is 10 rupees. Did I hear it right, sir?
Yeah.
And sir, how much has been the increase in the month of November or any anticipated increases? Because the cited price increase number is significantly lower than the broad cost inflation that we are looking at it on, be it imported thermal coal or be it even on petcoke prices, or in Reliance also has just increased prices, I think yesterday, today.
No, that is correct, but I think what happens is, see, the price increase has to happen along with the demand which picks up, right? There is always a volume pressure on each other cement player which operates in the region. So, looking at that, I think the prices there is a 2-3% increase already. And we hope that post-Diwali, there is no increase as far as the November is concerned, but post-Diwali, as the demand starts picking up, you will see a sharper increase in prices.
Sure, sir. Sir, if I may just squeeze in one more question. Sir, on the clinker debottlenecking side, I think there was some Gram Panchayat or some hearings which were due. Is it something which is done with, or is there any particular other reason why there is a delay over there?
No, I don't think there is anything which is related to any clearances from Gram Panchayat or anything like that. The only point was that, we from the capex point of view, we have already completed everything. There is a small changes which is required, a process change which is we are hoping to do. When that happens, we will be able to achieve that number also. And till now we have never tested that kind of because Siliguri plant has just now come up. This is the first season for the Siliguri plant, and our capacities will get tested now, right? So hopefully we'll be able to achieve the capacities which we have built in.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for the answers, and wish you a happy Diwali to you and Manoj ji. Thanks.
Same.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and one to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, a couple of first clarifications or data points. Sir, Siliguri plant this quarter, how much clinker we produce and what was the capacity utilization for this quarter, and how it was in October?
Siliguri plant, we don't produce any clinker. We only produce cement, right? So cement capacity utilization is around 30%.
So 30% for the Q2 utilization was there.
Half year.
It is for the half year Q2 number. I'll request Manoj to share with me.
Okay, I will share it later on, Shravan. Yeah.
Okay. So in October, has the utilization increased?
I think October definitely company has seen a volume growth of around 8%. So yes, definitely there will be some increase in the overall utilization.
Okay. Just continuing with the previous question. So you mentioned that in terms of the power and fuel cost on a per ton basis, considering all the factors, you are mentioning 8 to 12%. All the companies are saying. So we can also expect the similar QOQ per ton increase in power and fuel in the third quarter, 8 to 12%.
No, see, I think I've not said about 8 to 12% fuel price increase thing. I have said that the cement prices has to move up at least 8 to 12%, anything between 8 to 12%, depending on which company to have pass through of coal and the fuel price increase which has happened. As far as the coal cost is concerned and the impact on the companies is concerned, it will all depend on. I think some of the impact has already been reflected in the Q2 numbers, and I think the large part of that impact on the balance sheets of the company will definitely come Q3, because that is where because in Q2 the people were carrying at some amount of inventory, so that has helped them to keep at least the impact of that on the cost was lower. But going forward, definitely that impact will be seen more visibly, and that's how I think that is where the cement price increase to pass through this cost impact is going to come from.
So we mentioned that we already have a 2,000 tons of inventory, and we have already participated in 125,000 FSA on yearly basis. So this 2,000 in terms of will it last for the third quarter? How many months this 2,000 coal will last? So based on that, broadly, how much we expect the per ton basis power and fuel cost can go up?
See, basically this 200,000 tons of coal which we have purchased from Coal India, the problem is the deliveries, right? Even if the cost of that particular coal, and we have bought that coal a little earlier, but the deliveries is a problem. At this point of time, we are not getting deliveries from Coal India. If we get the deliveries, this coal is sufficient for almost more than 3 to 4 months of company requirement, right? But only question is getting these deliveries on time. And till such time the delivery position stabilizes, you have to get into the spot coal purchases, which are much higher than the prices which we have purchased these 200,000 tons of coal.
Secondly, sir, we said that our lead distance has decreased from 325 km to 300 km QOQ, but in terms of the freight cost, per ton basis, it has increased 4-5%. So definitely it will be because of the diesel price increase. So how much more increase we can see in the freight cost also?
No, I think the freight cost increase is a continuous process. You've been seeing it every day. The prices are going up, right? And it will definitely have an impact on freight cost of the companies going forward in coming next two quarters also. How much it will be there, it will be very hard to predict at this point of time. But definitely, we are looking at it as that the price of freight, I think the freight cost will definitely go up.
Okay. Lastly, sir, on the finance cost, it has increased significantly, though it is a small number. So this quarter we have close to 68 million versus the last quarter it was 18 million. Will you please help me? What's the reason?
So I'll request Manoj to reply to it.
Yeah, because whatever is there, I have already told that because we have some export obligation under the EPCG. Okay. But now the exporting of clinker to Nepal is not economically viable. So that is why we have paid that custom duty, what is the obligation against the proportionate custom duty on those obligations. So on that custom duty, we need to pay the interest of around 3.5 crore. So that has been included in the interest cost. That is why this is a one-off item for this quarter.
Okay, and the same in terms of the raw material cost. So even if I exclude the change in inventories, which is close to 324 rupees, so raw material cost has declined significantly. Will you please help me how one should look at even for the third quarter also?
No, because you did see that because the cement production has come down drastically this quarter. Production of cement is lower as compared to, you can see now, the 7 lakh last quarter. You are comparing with the last quarter or the YOY?
No, QOQ on a per ton basis I am looking at.
QOQ, yeah. Last quarter we have produced 7,72,000. As against this quarter only we have produced 6.17 lakhs. So cement production was lower. That is why the raw material cost is in absolute number it has been decreased.
No, I am talking on the per ton basis. I understand on absolute basis because of the lower production, but on a per ton basis it has significantly declined. So just to even if I remove the change in inventory, so last quarter it was 1,639 rupees per ton, and this quarter it is 1,400. So close to 230 rupees kind of a decline on QOQ. So how we look at, so will this number sustainable or something one-off is there?
No, I think I will request you to that. Say, I think we don't have the ready numbers available with me in terms of that QOQ with us. I will come back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Simran from SKP Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. So can you please repeat the cement sales volume number for this quarter?
It is 6.17 lakhs, ma'am.
Sorry, sir,
6.17.
That is the cement production. So cement sales?
Both are same, 6.17 production.
And so how much is for the northeastern region?
Is northeast region, it is and it is 4.93 lakhs.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, yeah, well.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Kumar Ravi. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. I have a few questions. First of all, on the costing side, if I look at employee cost sequentially has gone up significantly versus the previous quarter run rate. So could you explain what is that leading to?
Rajesh sir, largely last year, if you look at it, because due to pandemic, the increments were not done, right? So, and they have been done only a small increment was done at the end of end of the year, right? In the month of, I think, January or February or March, right? This year, in this quarter, the increment impact has already come in.
Okay.
And also, there are certain the bonuses which have been handed out, right, which were skipped last year. So
okay.
That's a certain impact.
So the Q2 number would be the new run rate, or the 1H would be a new run rate, sir?
No, Q2 will be normal. That's a normal thing. And if you look at it, 1920 also, if you skip 1920, that's how it used to be. So this will be a new run rate, right?
Okay, so subsequent quarters, 42 crore would continue or will come back to 35 odd crore quarterly run rate? That was the point.
No. That will not come because Q2, the increment impact of the last 2 quarters impact was there. Okay. So that is there, and bonus last time we have given the Q3. Now it will come to Q2. So Q3 it will not come. Bonus figure will not come. The ex gratia amount, and also that is the 1 month, 1 quarter salary increment. That impact is also there. So that will not be there.
Okay.
So you have to recalculate the thing.
Okay. And secondly, if I look at the input costs on a % basis, what sort of benefit, there is one thing which you have been talking about, the fuel cost inflation impact. So, but if I look at the input cost number sequentially, adding raw material and power cost together, and if I look at the number, then I see this number have come off versus 2,900 rupee per ton in last two quarters. It's close to 2,600 now. So where is this savings coming in from?
The saving you said last quarter we have also purchased clinker exactly because I don't have the number right now, but there is a purchase clinker in the last quarter. Okay, so that has impacted the raw material cost in the last quarter as well as in the Q4.
Okay.
If you look at it, corresponding quarter last year, right? We know that from the October onward, and we were already looking at a problem of this the bridges which were there in Meghalaya, right? So as we had resorted to certain bought out clinker at that point of time, right? So that has must be got inbuilt into, and when you are looking at sequentially,
right.
You are finding it that actually the raw material costs have actually come off. It's not like that. It is one of further clinker purchases in those quarters.
Okay, great. From Siliguri, sir, which all market, Siliguri plant, which all markets you are servicing currently?
So we will be largely doing North Bengal market and up to central Bihar. That's the market we are looking at.
Okay. Now, why I ask this? Because for the first half, as you said, the plant operated at 30% utilization, so 2 million ton, 1 million ton capacity. But if on 1 million ton, 30% utilization. But if you look at the volumes for the outside northeast numbers, they are close to around 0.28 million tons. So is this totally being serviced now from Siliguri?
Yeah. It is 100% service from Siliguri.
Okay, and that is why you're getting some benefit on the freight cost also?
Yeah, there will be some because the lead distance actually reduces. So
right.
Some advantage there.
Okay, great. And lastly, on the fuel cost, which you said that in versus your landed per ton cost, how has that moved, sir, between June and September?
Landed cost of
fuel, your coal purchases across different grades on an average basis, how has that moved between the 2 quarters, June and September?
See, I'll say June and September have largely remained unmoved. I'll say there is only an impact of 5-7% only. But that was because of the fact that we already had a lot of coal stocks with us, because any company, and we are sitting in Meghalaya, right, and we have to get coal from eastern coal field. So there's always a lead distance which is there. So the stocks are built depending on the lead distance which we have. So when the coal prices started moving up, we did have a good amount of stock. As you also have also mentioned, that at present also we have around 200,000 tons of coal which has already been bought from the Coal India, and it is the Coal India is yet to deliver that. And that is also the part of the planning which we do, because during the off season, normally the coal's costs are actually lower, and then we built up the stock to serve us during the season, right? But the whole problem started with Coal India, because they are just not giving any rates to non-power player. So we are in discussion with the government for talking to them about starting coal supplies to actually the infra sector, which is largely the cement and steel and these sectors. So hopefully we have been given to understand that the coal inventories at the power plant have actually gone up from 1 or 2 days stock to 5-7 days stock, and I think they will become comfortable in some time, and we'll get getting coal from Coal India.
Okay. And lastly, sir, amid all this crisis, Meghalaya is seated with the coal, which is, coal piles, which got cleared from Supreme Court. But is there no movement happening over there to sell off that stock of coal which is lying?
I think they had given a try at one particular coal auction, but that auction could not succeed because of certain technical issues which were raised by Coal India. We are also putting our efforts in terms of making the government understand to carry on that coal auction. Hopefully, once that happens, it will also ease out a lot of cost pressures on us. But we are still awaiting that. Still, the government is still working on it and has not been able to come out with clear guideline of auctioning that coal.
Okay. Great, sir. I'll come back in queue. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Sir, this Meghalaya clinker unit 3 MTPA. So, environment clearance when is expected?
We have made the application for environment clearance. We expect to get the environment clearance within 5 to 6 months' time.
Okay, so by March it will be there, and from there it will be a 3 years to start the plant.
Correct.
So in FY25 the clinker unit will come.
Correct.
Okay. And second, sir, you said that you are expecting a kind of a 20% kind of a volume growth for this year. So in the first half we have already done 25%. So are we expecting the second half YOY decline in volume despite the Siliguri plant would be there?
No, I don't think so. But I think that's the number we are comfortable achieving it. Definitely, we will be happy to surpassing our own targets.
Okay. And secondly, sir, maybe previously the same request would have come. Just once again requesting, is it possible to now add the power and fuel and freight line in the P&L when we release the result? And is it also possible to release the volume along with the result? So we don't have to keep on following up with you. So it's a request if you can do it.
We'll have a look at it. Definitely will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to all the participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. As there are no further questions, I will now hand the conference over to Mr. Rajesh Kumar Ravi for closing comments.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining in the call. Wishing you all happy Dhanteras and happy Diwali in advance. Manoj sir, Sanjay sir, would you have any closing remarks? After that, we'll conclude.
Thank you all for joining this conference call. And from side of the management, we wish all the participants and everybody in your family a very happy Dhanteras and happy Diwali. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, Nirav, you can conclude the call.
Thank you very much. On behalf of HDFC Securities Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.